3 hours. That's how long the dog had been dead when the security camera captured what made me question everything I thought I knew about death, consciousness, and the bonds we form with the animals we love. I'm Dr. Sarah Mitchell, veterinarian for 16 years. I've euthanized over 2,000 animals in my career. I thought I understood death. The moment the heart stops, the moment consciousness ends, the moment a soul leaves a body. I was wrong about all of it. If you believe animals have souls that transcend death, that love creates connections stronger than biology, then you need to hear this. Subscribe to The Soul of Every Dog, because what happened in my clinic that night will prove that euthanasia isn't an ending, it's a transformation into something we're not meant to see, but can't deny when the cameras catch it. Hit that like button and tell me in the comments if you've ever felt your pet's presence after they crossed the rainbow bridge, because this story validates every unexplained moment you've experienced. Let me take you back to the moment I thought I was ending a life, not realizing I was about to document the impossible. 2:40 p.m. Thursday. The Hendersons are in my examination room. Michael, Rebecca, their daughter Emma, who's 7, and Max, 14-year-old golden retriever, cancer riddled through his bones, every breath agony, despite the pain meds. Dr. Mitchell, Rebecca's voice breaks. We can't watch him suffer anymore. Max's eyes meet mine. Still bright, still aware. The soul inside hasn't given up even though the body's failing. Are you sure? I ask. Protocol. But also hope they'll change their minds. Give him one more day. One more, we're sure, Michael says. Firm, decided. Emma's crying into Max's fur. I prep the injection. Pink liquid, peaceful, painless. The same cocktail I've used thousands of times. Emma, sweetie. I kneel beside her. Do you want to say goodbye? She presses her face into Max's neck, whispers something I can't hear. Max's tail thumps once, twice, then still. Okay. I find the vein, insert the catheter. This will be very quick. He won't feel any pain. I push the plunger. 10 seconds. Max's breathing slows. 20 seconds. His eyes drift closed. 30 seconds. His heart stops. I check vitals. Confirm. He's gone. I'm so sorry. The Hendersons break. Emma's wailing. Rebecca's holding Max's paw like she can pull him back through sheer force of love. I give them privacy. Exit to my office. Another chart. Another patient. Another day of deciding when life ends. But Max's case bothers me. Something in those final moments. The way he looked at Emma. The way his tail wagged after she whispered to him. What did she say? 5:30 p.m. Clinic's closed. Staff gone. I'm alone finishing paperwork when movement on my security monitor catches my eye. Exam room 3, where Max's body is resting before the cremation service picks him up tomorrow. The door's closed, locked. Nothing should be moving in there. But on the grainy black and white feed, I see something. Shadow. Shape. Can't tell what. I pull up the recorded footage. Rewind to 2:40 p.m. when Max died. His body lies still on the exam table. Expected. Normal. 2:45 p.m. Still motionless. 3 p.m. Nothing. 3:15 p.m. Wait. Something's different. Max's position hasn't changed, but there's a shimmer in the air above his body. Like heat waves. Like 3:30 p.m. The shimmer's stronger, taking shape. Translucent but visible. It's Max. His spirit. Standing beside his own dead body. My hands are shaking on the mouse. This isn't possible. Death is biological cessation. When the brain stops, consciousness ends. There's no soul, no spirit. No. 3:45 p.m. Spirit Max moves. Walks through the closed door like it doesn't exist. I switch cameras. Hallway feed. He's there. Translucent golden retriever moving down my clinic hallway with purpose. Kennel area. Where overnight patients stay. I've got 3 dogs boarding tonight. Surgical recoveries. All sleeping in their kennels. Spirit Max approaches the first kennel. A beagle named Bailey. Post-spay. Whimpering in pain despite medication. Max presses his ethereal form against the kennel door. Bailey stops whimpering. Visibly relaxes. falls into peaceful sleep. Second kennel, German Shepherd named Thor, severe infection, barely responsive. Max does it again. That same pressing motion. Thor's breathing steadies. His fever-bright eyes close with relief. Third kennel, Terrier mix named Penny, dying of kidney failure. Owners coming tomorrow for euthanasia. Max spends longest with her. Spirit form somehow entering the kennel, curling around Penny's failing body. She stops shaking. Her breathing evens out. And then, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Penny stands up, first time in 3 days, drinks water, eats the food she's been refusing. Max's spirit form glows brighter, then begins to fade. 4:23 p.m. He's gone, completely. Not even a shimmer. I'm on my feet, racing to the kennel area. This can't be real. Cameras malfunction. Footage corrupts. I was overtired seeing things that weren't, but Bailey's sleeping peacefully. No whimpering. Vitals on her monitor stable. Thor's awake, alert, fever breaking before my eyes. And Penny. God, Penny's eating, moving. The dog who couldn't stand 12 hours ago is walking around her kennel like she's got years left instead of hours. I check her blood work. Run emergency labs. Her kidney functions improved. Dramatically. Impossibly. This isn't medical science. This is. My phone rings. Rebecca Henderson. Dr. Mitchell. I'm sorry to bother you, but the strangest thing just happened. Emma was crying in her room, and she suddenly stopped. Said Max came to visit her. Said he's not really gone, he's just changed. She's asking if it's possible for dogs to come back as angels. I finish. She asked if dogs become angels. Silence. How did you know? Because 3 hours ago, I euthanized Max. And for the past 90 minutes, I've been watching security footage of his spirit moving through my clinic, healing 3 dogs who were dying. That's not possible. I have video proof. Mrs. Henderson, what did Emma whisper to Max before he died? Long pause. She asked him to help other dogs who were hurting. To not stop being a good boy just because his body stopped working. The pieces click together with devastating clarity. Emma's whispered request. Max's final tail wags. Agreement. His spirit staying behind to complete one final mission before crossing completely. Mrs. Henderson, can you bring Emma back to the clinic? I need to show you both something. 6 p.m. The Hendersons are in my office. Emma's holding her mother's hand. I've queued up the security footage. Before you watch this, I say carefully, I need you to understand I'm a scientist. I don't believe in things I can't prove. But what the cameras captured, there's no rational explanation. I press play. They watch Max's spirit materialize. Watch him move through walls. Watch him heal 3 dying dogs. Emma's not crying anymore. She's smiling. I told you, Mommy. I told you Max said he'd help. Rebecca's face, I've seen that expression before. The moment when rationality collides with undeniable evidence of something beyond our understanding. How is this possible? Michael asks. I don't know, but Penny, the terrier who was dying, she's recovering. Kidney function improving by the hour. The other 2 dogs are healing faster than medical treatment explains. And it all started after Max visited them. Emma finishes. Because I asked him to. Because good boys don't stop being good just because they're not alive anymore. That's when Penny starts barking. Urgent. Insistent. We go to the kennel area. Penny's pressed against her kennel door, staring at the exact spot where Max's spirit had stood, and they're faint but visible. Another shimmer. Max is back, one more time. He moves toward Emma, the little girl who loved him, who asked him to keep helping even after death. Emma drops to her knees, reaches out her hand. Max's spirit form presses against her palm. She gasps. He's warm. Mommy, he's warm. I'm watching this 7-year-old child touch something that shouldn't exist. Feel warmth from a dog whose body has been dead for 4 hours. Rebecca's crying. Michael's got his phone out recording, hands shaking. And I'm realizing that everything I thought I knew about death about euthanasia, about the moment consciousness ends, is wrong. Because Max didn't end when his heart stopped. He transforming that could move through walls, heal the sick, comfort the grieving. Emma's whispering to him again. I can't hear the words, but Max's tail, his spirit tail, is wagging. Then he looks at me. Direct eye contact, and I hear, not with my ears but inside my mind, a single message: tell them the truth. Tell them we don't leave. Tell them love is stronger than death. Max's form grows brighter, then fades, this time completely, peacefully. Emma stands, smiles through her tears. He's going home now, to the place where all good dogs wait. But here's what made me install cameras in every room of my clinic. Here's what made me start documenting everything. Over the next 3 months, 12 more euthanized animals appeared on security footage. Every single one visiting sick or dying patients. Every single one facilitating healing that medical science couldn't explain. And every single case started with a child whispering, a request to their dying pet: keep being good, keep helping. Don't stop loving just because you have to go. Because what I discovered that night wasn't about one dog's spirit, it was about unlocking a truth that changes everything we understand about euthanasia, about death, about the eternal purpose of animals who've loved humans so completely that not even death can stop them from serving. But the evidence I was gathering, the footage, the healing cases, the documented impossibilities, it attracted attention from people who didn't want this truth exposed. People who had too much invested in maintaining humanity's fear of death. And they were coming for my clinic, for my evidence, for any proof that consciousness survives euthanasia. 6 weeks after Max's visit, I've documented 14 cases, 14 euthanized animals appearing on security footage within hours of death, all visiting sick patients, all facilitating unexplainable recoveries. I'm not sleeping, can't. Every night I'm reviewing footage, taking notes, building a database that proves consciousness survives euthanasia. My receptionist, Jenna, finds me at 3 a.m. surrounded by monitors. Dr. Mitchell, you need to go home. Look at this. I pull up footage from last Tuesday. A cat named Whiskers, euthanized at noon. Watch what happens at 2:15 p.m. Whiskers' spirit materializes, moves through the clinic, enters the kennel where a diabetic dog named Bruno is crashing despite insulin. Whiskers curls around Bruno, stays there 17 minutes. When she fades, Bruno's blood sugar stabilizes completely. That's the 4th time this week, I tell Jenna. 4 animals who should be dead, visiting patients who should be dying, facilitating healing that has no medical explanation. Sarah, Jenna uses my first name. Never does that at work. People are starting to talk. The staff, clients, they're saying you're obsessed, that you're seeing things that aren't. I have video evidence of light anomalies and sick animals recovering. That's not proof of my phone rings. Unknown number, 3 a.m. I answer, Dr. Mitchell. Doctor, my name is Thomas Wade. I represent the American Veterinary Medical Association's Ethics Committee. We've received concerning reports about your practice, claims that you're promoting unscientific beliefs about animal consciousness, potentially exploiting grieving pet owners with false hope about life after death. My blood goes cold. I'm documenting observable phenomena. Security footage shows nothing that couldn't be explained by camera malfunctions, confirmation bias, and the natural recovery patterns of sick animals. Dr. Mitchell, you're spreading dangerous misinformation that could undermine public confidence in veterinary euthanasia. We're initiating a formal investigation. The line goes dead. Jenna's face is pale. They're coming after your license. Because I have proof that death isn't the end. Because I can show that animals we euthanize aren't gone. They transform into something that continues serving, healing, loving. Sarah, she grabs my shoulders. Listen to yourself. You sound like you're losing your grip on reality. Maybe you need to step back, take some time. Movement on the security monitor stops us both. Exam room 2, where I euthanized a Labrador named Duke 4 hours ago. Duke's spirit is materializing. But this time something's different. He's not alone. Behind him, dozens of translucent forms. Dogs, cats, even a rabbit. All animals I've euthanized over the past year, all appearing together. "Oh my God," Jenna whispers. "What are they doing?" They're moving as one, flowing through the clinic like a river of souls, entering every kennel, every cage, every space where a sick animal is suffering. And the patients, all 17 animals currently in my care, they're responding, calming, healing, right before our eyes on the monitors. "This can't be happening," Jenna says. But she's watching it happen. I'm recording. Multiple angles, timestamp verified. 17 animals simultaneously experiencing unexplainable improvement, while dozens of spirit forms move through sealed kennels. Then Duke's spirit does something that makes my hands freeze on the keyboard. He comes to my office, through the closed door, sits in front of me. Behind him, all the others gather, a congregation of souls, all watching me with eyes that hold impossible intelligence. And I hear, not Duke's voice, but something collective, something that speaks from all of them at once. They're afraid of what you've discovered, afraid that humans will understand death differently, afraid that the industry built on final goodbyes will crumble when people learn we never leave, record everything, share everything, before they make you disappear like they made the others disappear. Others? I ask aloud. What others? The spirits fade, but Duke lingers one moment longer. Check the archives. Veterinarians who documented what you're documenting. Find out what happened to them, before it happens to you. He's gone. The office feels suddenly cold, empty. Did you hear that? I ask Jenna. Hear what? Sarah, you were talking to an empty room. But I know what I heard, and I know what I need to do. 7 a.m. I'm in the AVMA archives, digital database of disciplinary actions, license revocations, investigations, search terms, euthanasia, consciousness, afterlife, spiritual. 12 results. 12 veterinarians across 8 states who, over the past 20 years, claimed to have evidence that animal consciousness survived death. Dr. Patricia Chen, Oregon. License revoked. 2010. Promoting pseudoscience. Clinic shut down. Current whereabouts unknown. Dr. Marcus Williams, Texas. License suspended. 2014. Mental health concerns. Practice closed. Current status unknown. Dr. Lisa Brennan, Colorado. Under investigation. 2018. Died before hearing completed. Cause of death, suicide, but the police report notes. No history of depression. Family disputes finding. 11 more names. All silenced. All erased from practice. The pattern is clear. Terrifying. My phone rings. Rebecca Henderson. Dr. Mitchell. Emma's asking about Max again. She says he visited her last night. Says he brought friends. Says they all want you to know something important. What did he say? That you're in danger. That bad people don't want others to know the truth about where good dogs go. Dr. Mitchell. Emma's 7. She shouldn't know about. Bring her to the clinic. Now. 9 a.m. Emma's in my office. Small, scared, but determined. They're coming for you, she says without preamble. Max showed me. The people who don't want anyone to know that dying isn't the end. They're going to say you're crazy. They're going to take your license. And if that doesn't work... Emma, Rebecca pulls her daughter close. That's enough. But Emma's not done. Max says you have to get the evidence somewhere safe. Somewhere they can't destroy it. He says there are others like you. Other doctors who see what you see. You need to find them before they find you. The girl's 7 years old, but she's delivering information she shouldn't know. Can't know unless Max is really communicating through her. Where are these other doctors, I ask. Emma closes her eyes, listening to something I can't hear. Underground network. Veterinarians who document but don't publicize. They know the truth but stay hidden because the industry. She stops. Eyes snap open. They're outside. Right now, two men in a grey car. They've been watching your clinic for an hour. I pull up the parking lot camera. Grey sedan. Two men, professional. Alert. Not investigators. Something worse. Dr. Mitchell. Emma's voice drops to a whisper. Max says you need to run now, before they come inside. Rebecca's grabbing her daughter. We're leaving. Sarah. Whatever you're mixed up in. Wait. I copy all the security footage to 3 encrypted drives. Give one to Rebecca. If something happens to me, this gets to the media. Every news station. Every social platform. Promise me. Rebecca nods. Takes the drive. They leave through the back exit. I'm alone. Evidence copied. Clinic monitored. The men are getting out of their car. My phone rings. Thomas Wade again. Dr. Mitchell. We need you to come in for questioning. Today, regarding your recent claims about animal consciousness. I have video evidence. Documented cases of nothing. Camera glitches and sick animals recovering through normal medical treatment. Dr. Mitchell, you're experiencing a psychological episode. We're prepared to place you on administrative leave pending psychiatric evaluation. Through my window, I watch the two men enter my clinic. For your own safety, Wade continues, we recommend you cease all practice immediately and submit to evaluation. The men are in my waiting room. Jenna's pointing toward my office. I grab the remaining drives, exit through my back door, into the alley. Behind me, I hear them enter my office, hear them searching. I'm running, but I'm not running away. I'm running toward the only people who might believe me. The underground network of veterinarians who've documented the same impossible truth and learned to hide it to survive. Because what Duke's spirit told me was right. They've made others disappear. 12 veterinarians silenced for documenting proof that consciousness survives death. And I just became number 13. But here's what they didn't count on. I had backup of the backup. Evidence scattered across a network they didn't know existed, and a 7-year-old girl whose dead dog was coordinating a resistance movement from beyond the veil. The war between truth and suppression was just beginning, and the spirits of every animal I'd ever euthanized were choosing sides. The address Emma gave me leads to a veterinary supply warehouse on the outskirts of the city. Abandoned, windows boarded, the kind of place nobody looks twice at. I knock 3 times, pause twice more. The pattern Emma said Max showed her. The door opens. A woman, maybe 50, eyes sharp with suspicion. You're Dr. Mitchell. How did you? We've been watching you, waiting to see if you'd figure it out, or if they'd silence you first. Come inside before the surveillance drones make another pass. Inside, the warehouse is transformed. Rows of computer stations. Monitors displaying security feeds from veterinary clinics across the country. And people, maybe 20 veterinarians, all working frantically. Welcome to the Lazarus Network, the woman says. I'm Dr. Patricia Chen. Officially, I had my license revoked in 2010 and disappeared. Unofficially, I've been coordinating the only organization documenting what the AVMA has spent 30 years trying to suppress. How many of you are there? 243 veterinarians across 19 countries. All documenting the same phenomenon you discovered. All hiding because we know what happens to those who go public. She pulls up files. The 12 names I found, but with additional information the official archives didn't include. Dr. Marcus Williams didn't have mental health issues. He was forcibly committed after presenting spirit manifestation evidence to a veterinary conference. Died in psychiatric care 6 months later. Official cause complications from medication. Autopsy never performed. Dr. Lisa Brennan didn't commit suicide. Security footage from her clinic, footage that mysteriously disappeared from police evidence, showed 2 men entering her office the night she died. The network recovered a copy before it vanished. They kill us, Patricia says simply. When license revocation and professional destruction don't work, they eliminate the problem permanently. Who's they? Consortium of pharmaceutical companies, veterinary associations, pet insurance corporations. The entire industry built around the finality of death. If people understand that consciousness survives euthanasia, that pets continue existing in some form, the economic model collapses. Grief counseling, memorial services, the emotional urgency driving expensive end-of-life treatments, all of it depends on death being absolute. She's right, billions of dollars, entire industries, all requiring humans to believe that euthanasia is the end. But it's not the end, I say. The footage proves. Consciousness survives biological death and continues serving purposes we don't understand. But here's what we've discovered that you haven't yet documented. Patricia pulls up a video. Timestamp 3 days ago. Location clinic in Sweden. A dog dies during surgery. Unexpected complication. Heart stops. Standard protocol, they try to revive, fail, pronounce death. But security footage shows the dog's spirit materializing immediately, moving to the surgeon, positioning itself as if guiding the doctor's hands during the next surgery. That surgery, a complex tumor removal that should have taken 4 hours, completes in 90 minutes. Perfect precision. Zero complications. The spirits don't just comfort and heal, Patricia explains. They actively assist in medical procedures. We've documented 217 cases of deceased animals apparently guiding veterinarians during surgery. Success rates in those procedures are 98% compared to the standard 73%. I'm watching footage from multiple clinics, dogs, cats, even a horse, all appearing spiritually during critical surgeries, all seemingly helping the living veterinarians save lives. We think, Patricia continues, that euthanasia isn't ending consciousness, it's transforming animals into something that can interact with reality in ways living beings can't. They move through walls, perceive multiple locations simultaneously, respond to emotional calls for help from miles away. Quantum consciousness, a man says approaching. Dr. James Park, theoretical physics. The network brought me in 3 years ago to explain the mechanism. He pulls up equations I barely understand. What we're observing suggests consciousness isn't produced by the brain, it's received by the brain. Like a radio picking up signals. When the biological radio dies, the signal continues. And in some cases, particularly with animals who formed deep bonds with humans, that signal can manifest in ways that interact with physical reality. How is that possible? Quantum entanglement. When strong emotional bonds form, consciousness becomes entangled at the quantum level. Death of the physical body doesn't break that entanglement, it just changes how it manifests. The spirits you're seeing aren't ghosts in the supernatural sense. They're quantum consciousness fields that remain entangled with the living beings they loved. My phone buzzes. Text from Jenna, they're searching your house. Took your computers. Looking for the footage. They know you copied it. Patricia sees my face. How many backup copies? 3 drives. 1 with Rebecca Henderson. 1 in my safety deposit box. 1 in your house, where they just found it. No, in my car. Patricia smiles. Then we still have evidence. But we need to move fast. The network's been preparing for this moment, the moment when someone with undeniable documentation and enough courage to share it publicly gets targeted for elimination. What's the plan? We go nuclear. Release everything simultaneously. Every clinic in the network uploads their footage to every social platform, every news organization, every scientific journal. So much evidence from so many sources that they can't suppress it all. They can't kill all of us before the truth spreads too far to contain. When? Now, today. Because once they have 2 of your 3 drives, they know you're the weak point. They'll come for you with everything they have. As if summoned by her words, every monitor in the warehouse flares red. Security breach. Multiple locations. They found us, someone shouts. 6 facilities compromised. They're coming in with warrants claiming we're running an illegal operation. Patricia's already moving. Initiate protocol Lazarus. Upload everything. Every file. Every video. Every piece of evidence we've gathered over 30 years. Flood the internet before they can shut us down. The warehouse erupts into coordinated chaos. 243 veterinarians across 19 countries, all simultaneously uploading decades of suppressed evidence. But through the monitors, I see them coming. Not just police with warrants, private security, military vehicles. This isn't a legal operation anymore. This is containment. Dr. Mitchell. Emma's voice behind me. She shouldn't be here. How did she? Max brought me, she says simply. Through the back entrance that only shows up when you really need it. He says you need to see something before they break down the doors. She takes my hand, leads me to a room I didn't notice before. Windows overlooking the main warehouse floor, and filling that space, hundreds of translucent forms, every animal from every clinic in the network, all materializing simultaneously. They're here to protect you. Emma says, all the good dogs and cats and horses and rabbits, everyone who died but didn't leave. They're done hiding. They're done letting humans suppress the truth. The doors burst open, armed teams pouring in, but the spirits move faster, impossibly fast, moving through the armed men like they're not there, but somehow affecting them anyway. Weapons jamming, tactical equipment malfunctioning, communication devices dead. The men are retreating, confused, terrified of something they can see now, but don't understand, because the spirits aren't hiding anymore. They're manifesting with enough clarity that even skeptics can see them. And every single camera, security news drones, police body cams, is recording. Dr. Mitchell. Patricia hands me a microphone connected to a live stream with 3 million viewers and climbing. Tell them what you discovered. Tell them the truth about euthanasia. Tell them before they cut the connection. I look at the camera, at 3 million people watching, at the spirits filling the warehouse, making themselves visible, undeniable. And I speak the words that will either revolutionize humanity's understanding of death, or get me killed in the next 60 seconds. My name is Dr. Sarah Mitchell, 16 years as a veterinarian, and I have proof that euthanasia isn't an ending, it's a transformation. Every animal we've said goodbye to, every pet we've held during their final moments, they're not gone. They're here, watching, protecting, continuing to serve the humans they loved, and the industry that profits from death has been hiding this truth for 3 decades. I show the footage. Max healing sick animals. Duke leading the congregation of souls, the surgeon guided by spirits. Case after case, clinic after clinic, 6 million viewers, 10 million, 20. The truth is spreading faster than they can contain it, but they're still coming. I can hear helicopters, see tactical teams regrouping. Emma squeezes my hand. Max says it's time to show them the big miracle, the one that proves everything. What miracle? She points to the monitors. To a clinic in Portland, where right now at this exact moment a dog is being euthanized. We watch the spirit materialize, watch it move through the clinic, but this time something different happens. The spirit finds a comatose patient in the emergency section, a child, brain dead for 3 days, family about to authorize withdrawal of life support. The spirit enters the child's body, and the child's eyes open. The monitor flatlines, then restarts. Brain activity surging. The impossible beginning to breathe again. 20 million viewers watching a medical miracle that has no explanation except the one that 3 decades of suppression tried to hide. Love creates consciousness so powerful that death is just a doorway to transformation. And sometimes that consciousness can bridge back, can restore life, can prove that what we call death is just a transition we don't understand yet. The tactical teams have stopped advancing. They're watching the screens, watching the impossible happen in real time. Even they can't unsee this, can't deny this, can't suppress what 20 million people just witnessed. The war for truth was over. We'd won. Not through violence or legal battles, but through undeniable evidence broadcast to too many eyes to silence. But the real revolution was just beginning, because now humanity had to confront what it meant to euthanize animals knowing they'd continue existing. had to reconsider every goodbye, had to understand that the pets they'd mourned were closer than they'd ever imagined, and the spirits freed from 3 decades of hiding were about to show us exactly what they'd been doing while we thought they were gone. Within 12 hours of the live stream, the world fractures into 2 realities: the one people thought they knew, and the truth they can no longer deny. 47 million views. Evidence replicated across 600 veterinary clinics worldwide. The comatose child in Portland, now awake, speaking, asking for her dog who died 3 days before her accident. But the backlash is immediate and violent. The AVMA issues emergency statements. Mass hysteria, camera malfunctions, coordinated hoax by fringe veterinarians promoting dangerous pseudoscience. Pharmaceutical companies threaten lawsuits. Pet insurance corporations demand federal investigations. The entire grief industry mobilizing to suppress what 47 million people watched happen in real time. I'm in Patricia's safe house, a farmhouse 2 hours outside the city, when Thomas Wade calls. Not threatening this time. Defeated. Dr. Mitchell, you've destroyed 30 years of careful management. You've undermined public confidence in veterinary euthanasia. You've created chaos. I've revealed the truth. Truth. His laugh is bitter. You've opened Pandora's box. Do you know what's happening right now? Pet owners are refusing euthanasia even when animals are in agony, convinced their pets will become miracle-working spirits. Others are demanding we euthanize healthy animals to transform them into healing entities. Emergency rooms are flooded with people who euthanized their own pets at home trying to create spirits. My blood goes cold. That's not what you documented a phenomenon without understanding the consequences. Yes, consciousness might survive death in some form, but broadcasting that to a grieving, desperate public without context, without guidelines, without understanding, you've created a crisis. He's right. God, he's right. Through the window, I see them arriving. News vans, protesters, some holding signs. Animals deserve heaven. Others, euthanasia is murder. And more disturbing, transform my pet now. Dr. Mitchell, Wade continues, the consortium isn't evil. We suppressed this information because we understood what you're learning now. Humans can't handle proof of consciousness survival without weaponizing it, commodifying it, destroying the sacred nature of what you discovered. Emma's voice behind me. He's lying. She's standing in the doorway. Max's spirit visible beside her. Other spirits gathering. They suppressed it because they profit from death being final, Emma says. But it's not her voice. It's older, wiser. They profit from grief, from desperation, from the belief that goodbye means gone forever. Dr. Mitchell's discovery threatens their empire. So they're manufacturing this crisis to justify re-suppressing the truth. Emma, is Max speaking through you? We all are. Her eyes, they're not quite right. Too old for her 7-year-old face. All the spirits who've been waiting for someone brave enough to show the truth. We're done letting humans decide what humanity can know about death. I hear vehicles approaching fast, not news vans, military. Patricia bursts in. They're quarantining the area, claiming biological hazard. They're going to seal us in, cut communications, make us disappear like the others. Can't. Emma's voice. The collective voice remains calm. Too many witnesses now. Too much evidence distributed. They suppress us again. 47 million people know they're lying. The spirits in the room multiply. Hundreds. Thousands. All deceased animals from the network's documentation. All manifesting with such clarity that even Patricia gasps. What are they doing? She whispers. Showing everyone, Emma replies. Every home where someone's mourning a pet. Every veterinary clinic where staff is questioning what they saw. Every hospital where doctors watched that child wake up. We're manifesting everywhere simultaneously, making ourselves undeniable. My phone explodes with notifications, videos, thousands of them. Pet owners around the world recording spirits in their homes. Translucent forms of deceased dogs, cats, birds, all appearing. all visible, all proving that death isn't the end. They can't suppress this, Patricia breathes. It's happening everywhere at once. But Emma's face shows concern. The spirits around her are agitated. Something's wrong, something they didn't expect. The mass manifestation, it's creating a bridge, making the veil thinner. And things from the other side, not all of them are pet spirits. Not all of them are safe. Through the window I see it, shapes forming that aren't animals. Shadows with wrong geometries, presences that make my hindbrain scream danger. What are those, I ask? We opened the door, Emma says, her child's voice returning, frightened now. Max says we opened it too wide. The spirits of good animals can come through because love anchors them. But now other things that should stay on the other side, they're using the same opening. The military vehicles screech to a halt. Soldiers emerge. But they're not advancing. They're staring at the shadow things manifesting across the farmland. One soldier raises his weapon. The shadow thing moves impossibly fast, and the weapon melts, just liquefies in his hands. They're not spirits, Patricia says, her scientific mind trying to categorize what we're seeing. There's something else, something that exists in the spaces between life and death, and we just gave them access to our world. Max's spirit grows brighter, more solid. He's not alone. All the pet spirits are intensifying, creating a barrier between us and the shadow things. They're protecting us, Emma translates. But they can't hold the shadows back forever. We need to close the door. We need to farmhouse shakes. Not earthquake. Something else. Reality itself flexing under the pressure of two dimensions bleeding together. My live stream is still running. 53 million viewers watching the impossible happen. Dr. Mitchell. Thomas Wade's voice through my phone. No longer defeated. Urgent. The consortium didn't suppress your discovery because of money. We suppressed it because 30 years ago, the first veterinarian who documented spirit manifestation did exactly what you just did, broadcast it globally. For 3 days, spirits manifested everywhere. Then the shadow things came through. We lost 4,000 people before we figured out how to close the breach. How did you close it? We convinced the world it didn't happen. Mass media campaign, discredited the veterinarian, destroyed all evidence, made humanity doubt what they'd seen. The collective disbelief slammed the door shut. You're saying belief is what opens and closes the dimensional barrier. Belief is the mechanism of reality itself. When 47 million people simultaneously believed in spirit manifestation, you created a resonance field powerful enough to thin the veil worldwide. And now the shadow things are using that same field to manifest. The shadow things are multiplying, spreading across the landscape. Wherever they touch living things, plants wither, animals flee, even the soldiers are retreating. What do we do? Patricia asks. Close the door, Wade says. Make people stop believing, issue a retraction. Admit the footage was fabricated. Whatever it takes to convince humanity it wasn't real, but it is real. I shout. I'm watching spirits fight shadow entities in my front yard. Then choose let the truth stand, and watch those shadows consume everything living, or lie, to save the world from something it's not ready to know. Emma's holding my hand, trembling. Behind her, Max and thousands of other pet spirits are engaged in a battle I don't understand. Light against darkness, love against something that looks like entropy given form. There's a third option. Emma says, Max's voice again. Not suppression. Evolution. If belief opens doors, then guided belief can shape what comes through. Dr. Mitchell. You showed humanity that consciousness survives death. Now show them that love is the filter. Only spirits bonded by love can manifest. Only entities of service can cross over. Make 47 million people believe that. Create that resonance. And the door stays open for us but closed to them. How? Tell them the rest of the truth. Show them why we return. Not just that we survive death, but that love creates purpose that transcends biological existence. Show them that we're not here randomly. We're here because being loved makes us eternal, and that love demands we keep serving even after our bodies fail. I understand. Turn to the camera. 53 million people watching. Listen to me. What you're seeing isn't chaos, it's a test. Proof that consciousness survives death isn't the full truth. It's only half. The other half is this: love is what determines who can return, who can manifest, who can interact with the living world. The pets you loved, who loved you back, they return because that bond is unbreakable. But entities without love, without connection, they're trying to use the same door. We can't let them. I show the footage again, but this time I highlight different moments. Max healing sick animals, look at his eyes. That's love. That's service. Duke comforting Emma. That's devotion that transcends death. Every spirit that manifests through love creates a barrier against entities that don't understand love. Every pet you've mourned who appears in your home, they're not just visiting, they're protecting you. Because love doesn't just survive death, love defines what's allowed to return. 60 million viewers, 70. The number climbing as people share the broadcast. And slowly, impossibly, the shadow things begin to fade. Not driven away by pet spirits. Erased by collective belief reshaping the rules of manifestation. If 70 million people believe only love can cross the veil, reality itself enforces that rule. The shadow things dissolve. The veil stabilizes. The pet spirits remain. But now they're not just visible, they're accepted. Real. Part of the world in a way that won't collapse back into suppression. Because what I realized in that moment wasn't about spirits or science or industry conspiracies. It was about humanity needing to believe in something beyond death, but needing it anchored by something pure enough to prevent corruption. Love was that anchor. The bond between humans and pets created doorways that only allowed beings of service to pass through, and the world would never be the same. 6 months after the awakening, that's what they're calling it now, I stand in front of the United Nations Assembly, representatives from 193 countries, all trying to figure out how civilization functions when death is no longer the end. Dr. Mitchell, the Secretary General, begins. Your discovery has created unprecedented challenges. Pet euthanasia rates have dropped 92% globally. Owners refuse to end suffering because they want their animals to transform into spirits. Emergency veterinary cases have tripled as people delay treatment hoping for miraculous manifestations. And we have confirmed reports of individuals attempting to euthanize healthy animals to create guardian spirits. How do you respond? I look at the assembly. Exhausted faces, overwhelmed systems, a world trying to integrate truth it wasn't prepared to handle. I respond by saying, we can't unlearn what we know. 70 million people watched consciousness survive death in real time. We documented love creating bonds that transcend biology. That truth exists, whether it's convenient or not. But the consequences are our responsibility to manage, not suppress. I pull up new footage. This is from yesterday. Tokyo Children's Hospital. Terminal cancer patient, 8 years old. Family dog died 3 weeks ago. Watch. The footage shows the child's room. Monitors showing failing vitals. Family gathered for goodbye. Then, the dog's spirit manifests, visible to everyone, moves to the child's bedside. The child's vitals stabilize. Not cured, but peaceful, pain-free for the first time in months. That dog's spirit didn't heal cancer, I explain. But it provided comfort that no medication could achieve. The child died 6 hours later, peacefully, surrounded by family and the pet she loved. Is that a crisis we need to suppress, or a gift we need to learn to understand? The French ambassador stands. Dr. Mitchell, we're receiving reports that some veterinarians are refusing to euthanize under any circumstances, animals suffering needlessly, because doctors fear they'll prevent transformation. How is that compassionate? She's right. The pendulum has swung too far, which is why we need new guidelines. I say, not suppression, education. We've established the Institute for Consciousness Studies. 200 veterinarians working to understand when euthanasia serves the animal's highest good versus when we're projecting our desires for them to transform. I show more data, preliminary findings suggest that euthanasia performed with love and clear intention, ending suffering, not seeking transformation, results in the most consistent spirit manifestations. Animals who die peacefully, knowing they're loved, return most reliably. Those who die in agony or confusion struggle to manifest. So proper euthanasia actually facilitates transformation? The Secretary General asks. Proper euthanasia performed with compassion, clear intention, and deep love creates the cleanest transition. We're finding that animals who die well manifest more clearly, heal more effectively, serve more purposefully. The suffering we prevented by suppressing this knowledge was real, but the suffering we're preventing now by doing it correctly is greater. Patricia joins me at the podium. We've developed protocols, training programs, ways to help veterinarians perform euthanasia that honors both the animal's immediate suffering and their potential for transformation. It's not about choosing between compassion and consciousness. It's about understanding that true compassion creates the best conditions for consciousness to continue serving. A video screen lights up with Emma Henderson. She's 8 now, speaking with confidence that comes from being humanity's primary translator for spirit communications. The spirits want you to know something, Emma says. They're not coming back because we euthanized them correctly or incorrectly. They're coming back because love makes them want to. If an animal dies in pain, they still transform. They still can manifest. It just takes them longer to remember how. But if they die peacefully, surrounded by love, they remember immediately who they are and who they're meant to serve. Max's spirit appears beside Emma, visible on camera, undeniable. Max says the consortium was wrong about needing to suppress the truth. Emma continues. But Dr. Mitchell was also wrong about thinking the truth alone would be enough. Truth needs wisdom. Knowledge needs guidance. The door between worlds is open now. We can't close it, so we have to learn to live with both sides visible. The assembly is silent, watching an 8-year-old girl translate messages from a dead dog to world leaders trying to rebuild civilization around new rules of reality. There's something else, Emma says, and her voice changes, older, sadder. The shadow things aren't gone. They're just waiting. Every time someone tries to force manifestation, every time someone kills an animal to create a spirit, every time love is corrupted into control, the door opens wider for them. Love can only protect us if it stays pure. The moment we weaponize spirit manifestation, the moment we commodify it, the shadows return. And there's the real challenge. Not whether consciousness survives death, that's proven, but whether humanity can handle that proof without corrupting it. Thomas Wade, now working with the Institute as our liaison to the industry we dismantled, stands to address the assembly. The consortium made a choice 30 years ago. Suppress dangerous knowledge to protect humanity from itself. Dr. Mitchell made a different choice. Release the truth and trust humanity to handle it responsibly. Both approaches have costs. The question before this assembly is which cost are we willing to pay? The debate continues for hours, some countries proposing strict regulations on euthanasia, others wanting complete freedom, some suggesting we try to re-suppress the knowledge, impossible now but they're desperate enough to try. Through it all, the spirits gather, thousands of them, visible in the assembly hall. All the pets who've manifested since the awakening, all watching, all waiting to see if humanity will honor what their transformation represents or exploit it for power. Finally, the Secretary General calls for a vote. Proposed resolution: establish the Global Institute for Consciousness Studies, develop international protocols for ethical euthanasia, create education programs to help humanity integrate the reality of consciousness survival, and most critically, enforce penalties for any attempt to weaponize, commodify, or corrupt spirit manifestation for profit or control. The vote passes. 147 countries in favor, 23 opposed, 23 abstaining. It's not unanimous, but it's enough. As the assembly closes, Rebecca Henderson finds me in the hall. Sarah, Emma's been asking about something. She says Max wants you to know you're not done, that the discovery you made, consciousness surviving euthanasia, is only the first layer. First layer of what? Of understanding what death really is. Max says what you documented with pets is true for all consciousness, humans included. But humans are more complicated, more conflicted, harder to manifest cleanly. The pets are showing you the mechanism, but the real transformation, the one that will change everything, is when humans learn to apply the same principles to their own mortality. I feel the weight of it. We've transformed how humanity understands pet death. But human death, that's every religion, every philosophy, every fear and hope about what comes after. He says you'll know when it's time, Rebecca continues, when the next piece needs to be revealed. But for now, focus on this, teaching people how to die well, how to transition with love instead of fear, because that's what determines whether consciousness can serve after death, not the mechanism of death itself, but the quality of love present during the transition. I think about Max, about Duke, about all the spirits who've manifested since the awakening. Every single one died surrounded by love. Every single one transitioned peacefully. Every single one knew they were cherished. And every single one returned to keep serving. Dr. Mitchell, a young veterinarian, approaches, fresh out of school, first generation trained in the new protocols. I have my first euthanasia scheduled tomorrow. A 15-year-old lab named Buddy, cancer throughout his body. Owner's devastated but knows it's time. I'm terrified I'll do it wrong, that I'll prevent his transformation somehow. I take her hands. Listen carefully. Your job isn't to create transformation. Your job is to end suffering with as much love and compassion as possible. If you do that, if you focus on Buddy's peace, on honoring his life, on supporting his owner's grief, transformation will take care of itself. Love is the mechanism. Everything else is just technique. She nods, still scared but understanding. And here's what I've learned. I continue. The spirits who manifest most powerfully aren't the ones who died perfectly. They're the ones who were loved completely. Messy deaths, complicated grief, imperfect goodbyes. None of that prevents transformation if love was present. So tomorrow, just love Buddy through his transition. That's all he needs from you. She leaves. I watch her go. One of thousands of veterinarians learning to practice medicine in a world where death is no longer the end. Emma appears beside me. Max at her side. He says, "You did good. That the world's going to be okay. It'll be messy and complicated, and sometimes scary. But humans are learning, slowly, that love is the only force strong enough to transcend death. And once they really understand that, once they apply it to everything, not just pets, reality itself will transform." What does that look like? I ask. Reality transforming. Emma smiles. Max's presence intensifying. Like heaven and earth becoming the same place. Like the veil disappearing completely, because there's no more need for separation. Like consciousness flowing freely between all forms because love connects everything. She pauses. But that's later. Maybe way later. For now, just teach people what you learned. That death isn't the enemy. Fear is, that euthanasia isn't cruel when done with love. That saying goodbye doesn't mean gone forever. And that every being we've ever loved is still with us, in ways we're just beginning to understand. Max's spirit grows brighter. Then fades peacefully. Emma squeezes my hand. He's done teaching for today. But he'll be back. They always come back when we need them. That's what you proved, Dr. Mitchell. Not that consciousness survives death, we kind of always knew that. You proved that love makes consciousness choose to return. That service continues because devotion never ends. That the goodest boys and girls don't stop being good just because their bodies wear out. She leaves. I'm alone in the empty hallway of the UN building. But I'm not alone. I feel them. All the spirits I've euthanized over 16 years. All the animals whose transitions I've guided. All present, all serving in ways I'm still learning to perceive. My phone buzzes. Jenna. Dr. Mitchell, you're needed at the clinic. Emergency case. Golden retriever hit by a car. Owners begging us to save him. But, Sarah, it's bad. He's not going to make it. On my way. Thanks for watching. If this story changed how you understand death, euthanasia, and the eternal bonds between humans and their animals, then you know why we're here. Subscribe to The Soul of Every Dog, where we prove that love creates consciousness that transcends every limitation. The pets you've said goodbye to aren't gone, they're transformed. Serving in ways science is only beginning to measure. Death is not the end of devotion. It's devotion's graduation into something that can protect, heal, and guide from dimensions we're learning to perceive. Every goodbye is temporary. Every love is eternal. And the goodest boys and girls keep being good forever, because that's what love demands and what transformation allows. Your pet is closer than you think. The bond is stronger than death, and the soul of every dog lives forever, in the sacred space where love refuses to end.